This is my 2000 Dodge Intrepid. It's been sitting, neglected, and forgotten, and probably laughed at by my neighbors. But today, that all changes. We're giving this thing a glow up and see if we can bring this thing back from the dead, or maybe even make somebody actually want to buy it. Is that possible? Stick around and see if we can turn this forgotten four-door into a street-ready sleeper. All right, let's get into it. All right, first things first, this battery is deader than a doornail. It's been sitting for many years. So let's get a jump box on it and see if we can get this battery brought back to life. All right, let's do that. Okay, so it's been on the charger for about 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and see if it starts up. All right, that wasn't enough, so I got a little trick for it, so give me a second. Let's see if that works. Yeah, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna leave it running while I'm pressure washing so that battery can get a good nice charge in it. So let's take a walk around and see what the other side looks like. Pretty filthy. Got a flat tire over here. But let's get it pressure washed off and make it look a little bit nicer. All right, let's do that. All right, so we got it all pressure washed off and everything. I made up a list of stuff I need to fix on the exterior and on the interior, and we're gonna start with the interior. First thing on the list is detail it, and then we'll work our way down the list. I'm gonna get the seats pulled out in the center console so that I can then get the carpet pulled out so I can get it pressure washed up and get it hanging so it can dry, and then get the rest of the interior all cleaned up, like the seat belts and the door panels and all that stuff, because there's mold growing on it. So All right, let's do that. All right, let's get the awning set up because it is hot out here. So let's get that done. Okay, so we're gonna get the carpet all pressure washed off. I already soaked it in Dawn dish soap, so now we're gonna foam it up, let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then we're gonna pressure wash it off. So let's do that. Alright, so we got it all pressure washed off. Now we're going to drape it over the fence and let it hang. As hot as it is out here, it'll probably be dry by tomorrow, but we'll check it, and then if it takes another day, we'll let it. And then in the meantime, we'll get the inside all cleaned up and get it ready for the carpet to go back in. So let's get it hung up and then get back on the car. Alright, so first thing under the hood to deal with is the hood props, because they've completely broken, actually just sitting in here. The shocks themselves failed, and then the little round piece that pops on the ball to locate it also failed on both of them. So I've just been using them as at their shortest, just sticking them in here like so to hold the hood. But I don't want to be doing that and have them follow me, so we're going to get the new shocks put on it. I'll order some new ones off Amazon. They just came, so we're going to get those thrown on so that the hood will stay up for us when we're doing stuff under here. So let's do that. Alright, so we got the shocks all changed out. They work perfectly now. They help hold the hood up, so now I got to worry about falling on us. So next thing is we're going to come in here and pressure wash under the hood to get it all cleaned up. And then we're going to do things like changing out the accessory belt and any pulleys that are, the bearings are worn out. I don't know if they are, but we'll check that when we pull it off. And then the AC belt broke a long time ago, and I just never put it on because it was winter time at the time. And I was like, man, don't need to worry about it because it only drives the AC. There's a secondary serpentine belt on the rest of the alternator, power steering pump, all that stuff. So anyway, so all right, let's come in here and pressure wash it off, and then get in changing the belts and stuff. So all right, let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to come in here, we're going to get this all sprayed up with some easy degreaser and then get blasted off so we can have it nice and clean for when we come in here and replace the accessory belts and stuff. So let's do that. All right, so now that it's a lot cleaner under here, we're going to come in here and remove the upper radiator core support and get in here to change the belts out. So let's do that. Okay, so you can see there's a lot more room to get in here now and deal with the belts and check the pulleys, and then we'll check that lower one once we get down in there. But let's get in here and get these belts off and check the pulleys. All right, so we got the belt off. The pulley actually looked fine. The bearings inside it are good. All the other pulleys are good. No worn out bearings. So now that I have the upper cover off, before I put everything back on, I can get back down here, or get down in here a lot better. So I'm gonna pressure wash off down below, and then we'll get the belts back on. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and got the new belts for it, and you got some new spark plugs, so we're gonna get those put in. So we're gonna start with the belts, and then we'll do the plugs. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so we got the belts back on and we changed out the spark plugs. Now I'm gonna remove the battery because I tried to start it again after a couple of days and it just kind of clicked. So it's got a dead cell in it, obviously, from sitting. So we're gonna get that pulled out so we can get a new battery put in there for the next owner. That way everything's good and they ain't gotta worry about any problems. So, all right, let's get the battery out. All right, so we went and got a brand new battery. Let's get it installed. All right, so we got the belts changed out and a new battery in, so we're gonna start it up and see how it sounds, make sure the belts are good and tight, and then we'll put the upper radiator core support on. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so the belts are good and tight. There's no squeaks coming out and stuff. So we're gonna get the upper radiator core support on and move on to doing something else. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so we're gonna get started sanding down the roof here. Originally, the clear coat was peeling really bad, and so I took a sander to just kind of sand back the clear coat so that I could just blend it. And instantly the sander went right through the clear coat and the paint, and so I just continued to go on thinking, well, I've got to paint it now, so might as well just get it all off. So it's been sitting for a few years like this. There's a lot of surface rust here. So I'm going to come in with a sander that's not quite as strong and come in here and sand back all the surface rust that's on here so that I can get it prepped and ready to get it painted so that it doesn't look like crap. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so we're gonna come in here, we're gonna wipe it down with a dry cloth, and then we're gonna come in and hit it with a wet cloth with some prep all, and then again with a dry cloth, and then it should be ready to get some etching primer on here on the bare metal spot. So let's do that. All right, so I got it taped off and got halfway done and realized I forgot to grab another roll of tape. So I got this side taped and this side taped to help protect from overspray. I got big sheets to put over it too, but I don't want to put the big sheets over it because I'm gonna come in and primer this with some etching primer to cover up the bare metal spots, and then hit it with some high fill primer, sanding primer, stuff like that, and see if I need to put a skim coat of Bondo on here to cover any dents or whatever that might be in it. So I don't want to put the plastic over it because once I sand on the sanding primer of the Bondo, then the plastic sheet's completely covered in dust, and then when I go to paint again, it's just going to blow back on, and I don't want to waste it. So I just taped some paper on here. Most of the bare metal spots are, you know, right through here, and then over there's not too many towards the back. So when I go to do these ones in the middle, I'll spray this direction instead of having to worry about overspray getting back here. And then when I go to do that side, I might open the doors and lay the sheeting in there, and then just close the door since I'm out of tape. And I don't want to run to the store again right now. I've already gone 3 times today. So anyway, let's get this shot with some of the self-etching primer and come back and hit it with some sandable high fill primer. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so I got the plastic sheet all draped across the vehicle, so now I'm going to take a razor blade and cut it out along where the tape line is, and then I'm going to tape that down so that way when I spray, none of the overspray gets on anything else. So let's hit it with the razor blade and then get it taped down so we can get it sprayed. All right, let's do that. All right, so we sanded back the rough surface, and then we hit it with some primer, sanded that back, hit it again with some prep all. Now we're gonna come in and hit it with some primer sealer to get it ready for the paint, so let's do that. All right, so I got it all primered and sealed and all that stuff, so now I'm ready to paint it. And so I moved the awning directly over the roof of the car, wrapped it with some plastic to get a temporary paint booth to try to minimize any dust or bugs or anything from landing on it. So I'm gonna get it wiped down with some prep all, and then start shooting with some paint. Okay, so I ended up doing 5 coats, 5 cans of clear coat, and it's all dry now. Now I can take down all the plastic that's on the awning and then start untaping it and see how it looks. So let's do that. Okay, so I got as much painting as I can do done with the weather the way it is. It's hot as hell and windy, as you can see. So as far as for painting the hood and the trunk, I'm gonna do those a little bit later. I'll just end up pulling them off and just taking the hood and the trunk in the garage and just do them in there. That way I ain't gotta worry about the wind and the sun baking it as it's going on and it not adhering very well. So I'm gonna remove all the plastic and move on to changing out the strut on the front and the rear. I got new shocks for it. It already has lowering springs on it, so I'm going to be changing the springs over to the new struts, or to the new shocks anyway. And then we'll move on to getting the interior back in. So, all right, let's do that. Okay, so we got it all uncovered. I'm gonna work on getting the wheels and tires off, get it up on jack stands and stuff, because I got brand new tires to go on it. And I'll get those off to get the new tires mounted up. And while that's being done, we'll work on getting the shocks and stuff changed out. So let's do that. All right, so we got the old wheel tires off. These are the two front tires and these are the two rears. The inside edge is completely worn down to the wires and stuff. The outer tie rod ends were completely shot, and I changed those about a month ago while I was sitting there because I was bored. I didn't film it, but they've been changed out. You can see that the alignment wasn't perfect with the ball joints on the tie rods being completely gone, so it wore this very inside edge of the tire. But the back twos were fine, but this one's all dry rotted because it was flat, and so you can see cracks and stuff in it there. So I got a brand new set to put on it. So let's get them loaded in the truck and take them and drop them off so they can get mounted up. All right, so we're going to come in here and remove the struts. You can see the new tie rod ends that I put on here, but we're going to get the struts removed, and then we'll take this one apart so I can get this lowering spring off here and transfer it over to the new strut. So all right, let's do that. All right, so we got the new shocks on the table. I ended up having to go with the Torque brand for the fronts, and for the rears I had to go with FCS because it was the only ones that I could find that didn't come with the shock or with the spring on it. And I didn't want to get the spring because I want to transfer the lowering springs over, and I figured it'd be a waste of money to buy the springs I wasn't going to use. So I had to go with mismatched brands, but they both should be pretty good. So let's get the old strut taken apart and get the spring changed over. So all right, let's do that. Okay, so you can see that the little bearing thing came apart, and the little rubber isolators are completely toast, so I'm gonna have to see about getting some of those. So I'm gonna go to the auto parts store and see what they got. Okay, so in order to get the new rubber isolators and the new strut mounts, it's actually gonna be cheaper to send these ones back to Amazon and get the ones that actually come completely assembled, and then it'll have the new strut mounts and the rubber isolators for the top and bottom. And that is where this episode went off the rails. I ended up having to order new struts for it, and they're going to be about a week out. And I was hoping to get this car all filmed and finished and ready for sale all in one episode, but things happen. You find parts that you weren't expecting to be bad, and you end up having to order some stuff and wait on parts. So anyway, on the next episode, I will be getting the car finished and up for sale to start a new video series to where I'm going to be selling off quite a few of my cars that I don't actually have any connection with or really want to keep, to be able to buy a dream car, and a car that I would really like to have, which is one of the new wide-body Hellcat Chargers. I really like them. Very sweet looking car. They will be a lot of fun and make for a lot of good content. If anybody's wondering, will not be selling the Camaro. So a list of the cars that I will be selling is the Intrepid, obviously, the Chrysler Crossfire, because I ended up getting my daughter a Mustang instead of the Crossfire. Quite possibly the 1959 Dodge D200 white truck that's next to the Coronet everybody's seen in the videos. Possibly my ML63 AMG, the Ford Ranger that's in the driveway. Let's see, the 66 T-Bird, and maybe my Cadillac CTS. That one I could get quite a bit of money out of as well. So that'd be the Intrepid, the Crossfire, the 59 Dodge, ML63 AMG, Ford Ranger, the T-Bird, and the Cadillac CTS. So I'd be keeping the Bumblebee Camaro, the 68 Torino GT Fastback, the Coronet, obviously, the Mustang for my daughter, and I also have the Mazda RX-8 that I don't really want to sell it, but if somebody offered me the right amount of money in the condition that it's in, I might consider selling it to put money towards the dream car thing as well. But that one I might hang on to for building, later on the channel, but depends on what kind of offer I would get out of it. But anyway, so that's going to do it for this episode. I'm sorry we didn't get to finish the car all up in one episode. But it's been a couple weeks since I've been able to post because of this. So I hope you guys like this one. I'm sorry. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.